These documents I printed, about 3 of them, contain names of priests that have left Christianity and joined Islam over the course of 10 years. And it got me thinking, what are those things that can, convince a Christian priest to become a Muslim? Wait a minute. Let me obviously regurgitate some memories, like memories from the seminary. Well, nothing. Yes, nothing short of the truth can convince a Christian priest to leave the faith and join Islam of all religion. Islam of all. I've got a short explanation, people. While there is nothing like the priesthood in Islamic theology, Christianity, mirroring the tradition of Judaism, centers the sacraments of the Holy Order, that's the way the priesthood is called, or you call it aka priesthood, on the core of its theological education. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, if you read through paragraph 156 to 1600, and of course the Vatican document Presbyteriorum Ordinis, which was promulgated in 1965. The priesthood is described as a specific vocation that involves a man being ordained by a bishop to act in the person of Christ. In other words, they call it persona Christi, as a minister of the sacrament and to preach the gospel. This sacrament of the Holy Orders confers on the priest a special faculty or grace and power to carry out his ministry. And most importantly, the priesthood is seen as a unique and important role in the life of the church itself, as priests are called to serve as spiritual leaders and shepherds of the faithful. They are actually responsible for celebrating the sacrament, such as the Eucharist, like the video I've made previously, and also hair confession and anointing of the sick, and for preaching the gospel and providing pastoral care to their communities. That's the reason why priests are posted to different communities to administer a particular parish. So when priests leave all these special privileges and position to accept Islam, then we are justified to conclude that Islam is the truth, though this is not mutually exclusive. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Open-Minded Thinker Show. Before we delve into the top Christian priest conversion to Islam that shook Christianity, please, I do encourage everybody to like and share this video so that others can see it. Help us grow by subscribing and turning your notification button, because we've got a lot of stories for you. The inspiring story of the priest featured on the show today can only shock those who know pretty well what the priesthood means in Christianity. For an average Muslim, the best example will be a situation where one of the greatest imams in the Haram in Saudi Arabia becomes a Christian, not just a Christian priest. Idris Tawfiq, born Paul Dannett, was a Catholic priest in England who converted to Islam in the 1980s. After his conversion, he became an imam and dedicated himself to promoting interfaith dialogue and understanding between Christians and Muslims. He authored several books on Islam, including The Muslim Guide and Islam, an Introduction.
The first Muslim I met in my life was not some important sheikh. My introduction to Islam was not through reading a book about Islam or watching a TV program or listening to a sermon by a Muslim preacher. My introduction to Islam came from a little kid in the street cleaning shoes. And I walked past him one day and he saw my white skin. This little boy, he was thin and he was wearing little plastic flip-flops on his feet. And he saw my white skin and he said to me, Assalamu alaikum. So my introduction to Islam came from a little kid greeting me with the words Assalamu alaikum and all praise be to Allah. So when I went home from Egypt at the end of the week, I knew nothing about Islam. But I knew that Muslims weren't what the television told me.
The story of Vladimir Ugrimov is even more inspiring. This is because he left the Russian Orthodox faith, where he had been a priest for over 30 years, and embraced Islam in 2021. Reports suggest that Ugrimov's decision to convert to Islam may have been influenced by his interest in, Islamic Sufism, which is a mystical branch of the religion that emphasizes spiritual practices such as meditation and seeking of inner truth. This branch of Islam is somewhat synonymous to the life of monks.
Если ислам привлекателен, то именно за счет того, что там содержится нечто, что близко приближается к истине. Там учение о едином Боге, например.
For Ishmael Fenter, formerly known as Greg Fenter, a U-turn was the best way to find himself back to the true faith. His name, Victor, was associated with his success, and his story was heartrending. Now, he was born in 1955 in the U.S. state of North Carolina and raised in Los Angeles. Fenter went to a Catholic school at the request of his family and became a Catholic priest at a very, very young age.
I knew I needed to become Muslim. I knew that. So it was that next year where I became a Muslim.
The African wonder priest Musa Bangura, formerly Mark Moses, is in the spotlight. He is reputed for bringing over 300 Christian ministers to the Islamic faith.
I had a dream, a young man telling me, brother, this is a message that you are taking people from the light to the darkness. Stop doing this. Then now, come into the light. Then you can go to the darkness and taking the people from the darkness, bringing them to the light. Stop mislead the people. This is a warning for you.
In the story of Father Hilarion Higgy, one could see the fruit of a long search for the truth. He was on the Islamic journey for over 20 years. He preached in the pulpit about the resurrected Christ and, of course, his mother Mary, yet his heart hibernated the Islamic truth. He finally made a great leap into the faith and today prefers to be called by his new name, Said Abdul Latif. Well guys, to end this video, pick your Quran, open to Surah Al-An'am chapter 6 verse number 125. I quote,